And this is? 22. Okay. Now Agrim and Abdul, can you come forward? Yes. Can you show how this will be done? Okay. Try. Okay, Agrim. Now your turn.
53. Good.
Well done. Now you will do. Come on, do it with your partners. Go back to your place.
A very warm welcome, everyone, to this episode of The Path Town Hall. We're delighted to be here. I am Sunita Gandhi. I am the founder of Global Education and Training Institute, or GETI. And I've been an educational researcher for most of my life and been privy to some very interesting research findings, which I'll be sharing with you along the way. And I'm joined today by...
Hi, I'm Matira. I'm a trainer here. I came all the way from Kerala to Lucknow just because of her work and this wonderful pedagogy. And I'm glad to be here to be part of this town hall because this is exactly what brought me here.
Awesome. Really happy to have you with me, Atira.
Thank you so much.
Atira Santosh. And Atira is an aspirant for becoming
UPSC aspirant.
Yeah. So I'm really wishing her well with that. Okay, so what is PATH and what is PATH Town Hall and why we here together? Let's look at our very first slide here. So basically we are saying that it is PATH movement for transforming education. Now, I think we can probably agree that education needs transformation because otherwise we would have probably not had the new education policy 2020, which is a super progressive policy. And I think we can all agree, regardless of where we are at in our journey, we can all agree that education needs to be purposeful. That's path AP.
Active for A, transformative for T, and holistic for H.
Wonderful. So path as in a movement that we can all agree with. So if you have to go from here to Kerala, what's the town you're from?
Kochi.
If you have to go to Kochi, so that is the destination. We should know where we are taking our ship called education. We should know that we are taking in the direction of more SEL, social emotional learning. Children are more anchored, they're more confident that every child succeeds, not just some, because that one child is important to their parents and to society. And so this is where we're at. It's an online town hall to make everybody aware of what we're doing here in India and overseas. We have begun already in a big way in the last 3 years, seen tremendous growth to this program. And the PATH as a movement was launched just a few days ago by no less than Shri Rajnath Singh, our Defense Minister of India, who was formerly the Education Minister of Uttar Pradesh. So he knows of our work and he has been very laudatory about it, and he's the one who launched it. You're going to hear from him in a little bit as well as to why PATH movement and what is the need for it. And so we know we have to go to Kochi. Now the question is, how do we go to Kochi? So we can go any whichever way. We can take a flight somewhere nearby maybe, or even to Kochi, I suppose. Yeah. You can take a flight to Kochi from Lucknow?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. You can drive there and you can even go walking. That's all right. It'll take a handful of days longer. So this just shows how the journey can be so different, and the vehicle that we choose or the way we get there is also different. So we have chosen Alpha, Accelerating Learning for All, as the vehicle to tread that path. And Alpha stands for, as we just said, accelerating learning for all, not just some, for all. And it was launched in 2022 after 20 years plus of research in Iceland, UK, and India. So research we must, because that's the only way we know how to break away from where we have been. A lot of times our decisions are made based on hunches. So we have this hunch, something will work. We've heard it from somebody. We think, oh yes, worth a try. And we tend to go more with our hunch than by evidence. And I think we need to shift that gear. Hunch is always important, intuition is always important, but we also need to look at and underpin that hunch with evidence. So what we have seen is that a good school like City Montessori School that is following alpha pedagogy is the biggest school in the world. It's a good school, that's why it's big. It has good results. A lot of the schools across the country can really claim to be amazing schools, and not just here, across the world. And they're good schools. Your school is a good school. There's no doubt about it. Everybody's very dedicated to every child's success, and that makes it really good as well. So a good school, can a good school become better? And that's the question we're going to deal with in this town hall. So currently 10,000 schools are following alpha pedagogy. That is schools mostly primarily in the government sector. Those are free programs for the government school children that we've launched from here, and in collaboration with Dignity Education Vision International, which is Devi Sansthan. And may I also venture out to say that one of the reasons why we are very interested in giving this program across the country is because we want to help more children in the government sector and in the slums and villages. So one way to do that is to raise money here and spend it on them. I think you'll not be disappointed, because probably the costs are equivalent as we normally pay for the books that are in the bags of the children and for the programs that we take up. So it's not going to make a dent on anyone's pocket, but it is going to improve the quality of education many, many folds. So besides City Montessori School, in which this year 21,000 children are participating in the Alpha program out of 64,000. And last year it was 14,500 because half the campuses took Alpha and half did not. And that helped my research as well. And before that, we did not have books. We were doing it with electronic e-books, if you like, on the screen, on digital screens. So it has seen an evolution. And parents have to obviously accept it, not just accept it, be delighted by it. And because of that, we could grow. So right now it is in 19 of the 21 campuses. And next year, all the campuses are taking it up. I'll have to think of another way to do research, and that's you. You will be now participating in my research. And I hope some of you will be delighted by that as well, because data is very important. So for example, one of the things we are saying is that why don't we do a baseline assessment? If you take up this program, we do a baseline assessment as towards the end of this academic year, and or even now, doesn't matter, when we do the assessment. And a year later, we do exactly the same assessment with the next, or similar, scientifically similar assessment with the next batch of children who have done Alpha for this 1 year, but they're in the same classes. So you can see the difference, and that will help you to get more confidence and perhaps share that confidence with others. So what is different? Path outcomes, basically, we are saying that we are squarely on new education policy. So Athira, can you share what is in the new education policy?
Of course. So it's active student engagement. First goal is active student engagement, then shift from teaching to learning, and then 21st century skills, it's holistic vision.
Absolutely. So the one that we normally, a lot of good schools have already moved into the idea of learning in pairs, learning in groups, giving more agency to the children. But it's mostly like 10%, 20% of the time. It's not all day long. It's not something that gives them real agency, though they are active classrooms now. So a lot of schools have moved away from passive learning, where the teacher is active in the front, doing all the motions of whatever the children have to learn, and the children are passively following even the actions they're following, and they're not as actively engaged in their own thinking. And so the next thing that, of course, NEP 2020 says, that it should be shifting focus from teaching to learning. Now, I don't think we've got there yet. I think majority of the time we're still teaching. The focus has shifted a little bit in the direction of active learning. Yes, that's learning. and everything is learning, but how do we shift it so that the now emphasis shifts from less teaching to more learning? And that would obviously be something very different in our minds, at least, and that would mean giving agency to the children to co-create and create learning. It's not just that the teacher tells the children do, so I show an activity and they repeat that activity. No, they actually get a trigger, a starting point from whatever we do, and then they continue in many more dimensions and deeper and broader way of learning beyond what we teach. And they have the agency to do so. And the books and materials then guide them through that process. So we'll look at that in a minute. But what is that process that also ensures that the 21st century skills are given and a holistic education? So 21st century skills are collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity. These are the four most important 21st century skills written in the new education policy. What do parents want? So if you go back to what the parents want, then parents want that the children should have confidence. And this, I think, we rob children of their confidence, unfortunately, because we compare them. And can we have an education that relies on cooperation rather than competition? And I think that's what will build confidence more. So if I'm a shy child, and I think Athena was a shy child when she was younger. So if I'm a shy child, I'm not going to go ask any other child. I'm not even going to go to the teacher. I'm going to sit in a corner. But if I'm collaborating, especially as we do in Alpha, in 1:1 paired learning all day long, she's sitting with me for that day, and I'm going to ask her some questions, and in a 1-to-1 setting, she will feel more safe and secure. And we'll build her confidence and we'll start speaking, and we've seen that, and we've seen a lot of children develop enormous confidence. That should be number one. You know, all the people who succeed in life are the ones who are confident. They may not know their stuff, but they speak confidently. And when we talk about speaking, we can also talk about spoken English, and being able to speak and communicate is a fundamental skill that all children must have. That to be able to articulate what they want to say, to be able to conceptualize in their mind, to have the language to be able to relate, to have a rich vocabulary. So it's not just one way of saying something, there are many ways of convincing somebody. And so persuasive language that is friendly, that is helpful. There's so many ways to say a language. And so those communication skills should be at the heart. Now we do that, but we could probably mainstream that idea through paired learning even more, and the processes that we're using. Then obviously every parent wants that the children should be
To talk good, like their English, the language, the vocabulary, and the pronunciation has to be good.
And their studies, they should be good in their studies.
Of course, yes.
All the parents want that the children should be good in studies. And do we want our children to be respectful, kind-hearted,
yes.
to be, respect the parents and elders, to, I guess, have a caring attitude, supportive attitude, all these things, the things that we call holistic education, of course, they want that as well. So I don't think many parents will say, no, I don't want my child to be truthful and honest. I think they want them to be. Those are the outcomes you can expect from Path and from Alpha. Next is the idea that we can do it very much more easily through process of paired learning. Here you see two children from a government school who are learning in a pair. It doesn't matter where the children are from a elite private school or from a government school or a budget school. It doesn't matter at all. Children are children, and they have the same wiring. God has given us the ability to make sense of things. When presented in a certain way, they can make more sense of things. So here we have a activity we would like to do with you. That is a beautiful, joyful activity. So how do we empower these children? We empower them through the teachers. So you saw those two teachers sitting there, and those two teachers were being empowered, doing the same activity that they would then do there in their classes. But we don't have to give it to them through a training session always. Training sessions for motivation. Training sessions are brief so that they get excited about it. They're done in a pair context because they have to work in a pair. And so they know how to translate that. But when teachers are empowered and they learn joyfully and they love what they're learning, and the book is supporting that learning, that in that same activity is given in the book, then I think they will be able to implement that change. Often there's a disconnect. So you've got training going in one direction, you've got the books in another direction, books from different publishers even in the same bag of the child. I mean, it's not necessarily, the vision is not clear. That is, are we going to Kochi or are we going to Delhi? The vision is not clear. And then which path we're taking is not clear, because we have so multiple different ideologies and perspectives. And we perhaps don't have that research backing always. I mean, sometimes we do, but to show that something in a good school, such as City Montessori School or your school, can be better. And that's what we're aiming for, is that education should be not just where we're at. So in what ways better? Of course, all those goals we just discussed, but also in terms of every child succeeding in their academics. And that means not just a handful of children. And what if we told you that not just children are succeeding more, like grade 1 child will be doing grade 2 work, but that all children are succeeding much more than in the traditional system, or a traditional system we're doing better, like, for example, more child-centric education that a lot of schools are now giving. But still is falling short because some children are not feeling good, some children are not succeeding as much, and can they all do? So that's a very important question to ask ourselves, is are all our children, at a higher level than they need to be? They are at a higher level than the syllabus defines, which is very limited at times. So let's journey on. And I'd like to do this activity with Athira. And it's a clap and snap activity. We say in mathematics, this is the way to scaffold learning. So instead of going to just abstract, which is what we all do, so how do you add numbers? We show them a routine that you put a couple of numbers, like 2-digit numbers plus 2-digit numbers, with or without a carryover, and we teach it in that particular sequence. And we say with a carryover, then it is carryover because now you add here and there's, something here that needs to go up here. Now, children don't always understand that that's place value. They don't always understand the carryover means now going to the next place value. And even high school children, cannot articulate. They just know the technique, how to do it. Why borrow? What is multiplication? So they don't have that intuitive number sense and intuitive sense of the operations, which is so critical so that they can do well in mathematics. So here's what we do, we scaffold differently. It's again known to unknown. And it is the idea of kinesthetic, concrete, abstract. So here, kinesthetic, and we know concrete to abstract is a well-known philosophy, but happens only a few % of times in the whole year. So if I do a snap, little children will only do snaps, right? 1 snap means 1, 2 snaps means 2, 3 snaps means 3, and
4 snaps means 4.
Exactly. So that's very easy. For the very little ones, they know snaps, and we don't count on fingers or teach them to count on fingers, because over time it becomes limiting and you can't teach place value. So we're teaching place value without teaching place value. So saying, okay, the moment you come to 10, it's not a snap anymore, it's a clap. So up to 9, you do it 9 times, so snapping, and then 10. And then 11 would be a 10 and a 1. So I'll make a number for Tira, 10s and 1s number, and she will tell me what number it is. Okay, so this is what we are calling a teacher-child demonstration. Supposing I'm the teacher and she's the child in the class. Okay, so I'll make a number with 10s and 1s. She'll tell me what it is. I can say, good job, well done, give her a high five, or I can say, try again. Okay?
That's 32.
Wow, good job, Athira. That's great. And now we also give turns. It's not just I'm asking and she's answering, but also she's asking and I'm answering. Okay, so it's child asking the teacher now. And this is so joyful to see these little ones, jumping up to say a high five to the teacher. The videos are delightful, and what's going on in the classes. So it's now child to teacher question.
Okay, so are you ready for this activity?
I'm delighted.
Sweats.
$42.
Wonderful. That's right.
Okay, shall we try hundreds number?
Of course.
So if I shared with you, this is 100. Okay, now I'll make the number.
521.
Wow, awesome, Matira. This is just great. Okay, so this is Kinesik. Now she has to ask me because the demo is never complete if only the teacher asks and the child answers. Child has to also ask of the same denomination now, and the teacher has to answer. So make a number for me. You can even have a 0 in some place if you wish. That makes it more interesting.
Okay.
Okay?
0, like not clapping.
Yeah, if you don't clap, that's a 10 not there. If you don't snap, that's a 1 not there. If you don't do this, then I know it's a tens and ones number. But say a tens and ones, but first try the whole thing, then we'll try the zeros number. Okay. That was easy. 222.
Yes. Well done.
Thank you. So let me try a 0 number, okay? And you tell me what it is, okay? So we'll do 1,000 number this time, okay? This is 1,000.
Go ahead, move. Uh, 3,201.
Yeah, wonderful. Kya baat hai? Excellent, excellent. Okay, now it's your turn to ask me because the demo is never complete till you ask me.
Okay.
Okay, that was good, tricky one. 3,301.
Excellent.
Excellent. So now we'll represent the original number, say 32, in concrete form. Okay. So can you show me this? Well, I'll show you first. So this is a ice cream stick is a 10. So 3 of these. And then there was, if I remember correctly, it was 32. So 2 ones under the ones column, tens column, 3 tens. So now it's a concrete form of 32. Okay. I'll give you a number and now you can make the number. So can you make me 125?
20.
125. Awesome. Now, shall we write this number as in the abstract form? Because we go from kinesthetic to concrete to abstract.
125.
Yes. Good job, Atira. Well done. Excellent. And if should you get it wrong, I'll say what?
Try again.
Try again. So children learn to say try again. And this is how they learn even better because mistakes are part of life and they learn to make those mistakes. So mathematics becomes a lot of fun. And if I'm going to add, let's say I'm going to add, this is 25. With that, can you make the number, let's say, I'll make it not 25, I'll make it 27 for a minute. And you're going to add a 35 with it.
65.
Yeah, so put 35 here. 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're supposed to check each other's numbers as well. So now we know that it's adding, its number is correct. So this provides the control of error, which is very important because children sometimes may do a counting error and their substitutions go wrong and their answers go wrong. So, but we're making questions for each other so we can correct each other. And that's awesome. There's no question on the board saying these 5 sums everybody do. We don't do that. Okay, we're making for each other, and each pair in the class is making questions for each other in the same manner. So if you look at this, I would like you to try and add these numbers. Will you add the ones first or the tens first?
Ones first.
Absolutely, jolly good. So can you put all the ones together?
Sure.
For a minute, I'm going to put these on the side here. So it's easier for you because you're further away. Okay. Very good.
Very interesting. Engaging.
Engaging. So you put the ones first. And now if it is more than 10, can you count 10 and put them separately?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So can you take those separately, put them on one side and these two there. Now, what happens when it's more than 10 is you can exchange, give the bank your 1 rupee notes, 10 of them, and get a 10 rupee note. So what will you do? Give it back to the bank. Bank's not going to give you money unless you give to the bank first.
So I'm giving this. Oh.
These 10 ones.
10 bags. And
Yeah.
taking 110.
Awesome. And now what do?
Add.
Add the tens. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm taking this down.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So that makes it, you can say
60.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60.
2.
So what's the number?
62.
Okay, now can you write this as a question first? I think we had, you can do it. I think we had 27 first. So can you write 27?
27.
Okay, wait. Write it a little lower. So ignore this page for a minute. Write it lower, like here. Okay. And then below it, we have 35. So write down plus 35. Okay. Then draw a line underneath, as we normally do. So you're left with 2 and
6.
6. And what happened? The one that you had exchanged became a
Borrowed number.
borrowed number. Bingo! Kya baat hai? Excellent. Right. Athira is learning Hindi. So I break into Hindi with her a lot more. So she gets better and better at Hindi.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this was, as you can see, a much better way to understand why carryover and how does addition work. Similarly, subtraction, why borrow, and similarly, all the other operations. And I'd like you to watch a classroom video, how after we have done the demonstration, the children all do their own activity at their own tables in pairs and do it for hours, correcting each other and working with each other.
But for how many tens are there? There are 20 numbers. No, there are 20. How many thousands are there? There are 1,000. How many ones are there? There are only ones over 40. Now remember 3,321.
In the next slide, you will see a lot of children, a class full of children doing a variety of mathematics activities and writing activities. But here, mostly it is on the one side, you can see the number bank and the number activity, large numbers as we can see. I think I can see the spoons there, so thousands. And I'm sorry, I think you're not seeing it. You can see the children are learning numbers on their own in pairs, and thousands of numbers are there on this left side. From the numbers bank, they've taken out a whole bunch. I think the numbers are in thousands and hundreds and so forth. And they're doing that exchanging. So when girls becomes more than 10 in any column, they exchange it for the higher value. And in the middle, you can see a lot of data handling questions that they're making for each other with counters and in an abstract way. And a lot of data handling is going on, as well as now collective nouns are being taught by class 3 on the right side, as you can see at the bottom. Okay. Then we see that Alpha and PATH program in particular, PATH is a movement for transforming education. But in that path, we have come up with a program called High Path. High Path. So in the High Path program, we've got the books, of course, very important, but I'd like to stretch our minds a little bit to think that books are to support a process. And book in themselves should not become the mantra, but they should support your vision for education. And what we feel is going from the NEP 2020, that we are talking about converting teaching to learning. And therefore, the process has to shift from the teacher to giving empowerment to the children, as you saw, who can work with each other. In this picture also on the bottom right, you see these children making their own words. And it's a joyous learning process. Why will we deprive children of it? But truly it is working. And so it is shifting that focus from teaching to learning. And it's because of the process. And so we're saying process is important as a process-led transformation and not just book-led transformation. So the second thing that we really are concerned about is the teacher's empowerment. So what we're also saying is that, look, teachers need not learn just once in a while, like for 3-day, 5-day training programs. Those are fine. They have their own value. We also do some of it. But we don't need quite such long trainings because it's often forgotten when it comes to the classroom. One of the reasons it's forgotten is because the books are not showing those activities that they learned in the training. So something they learned in training is not supported by the book, and there's a disconnect. There may also not be the materials that a particular activity might require. So you have to go in sync with each other. And so here, that what's different is a shorter training, which is empowering and which gets you like thinking, oh, I really like it, I want to go do this. In my class, I can't wait. And those are the reactions you want to get.
And then after that, the book itself, what we're calling the buddy books, are the books that are enabling that transformation by training teachers on the job, doing it every single day with prompts that are given at the bottom of every page and every module, which could be a half a page module. So we'll be sharing those with you, and you'll see how it helps the teacher to learn on the job. There's also what we call Grow Circle meetings, which are once a week. So teachers meet on a Saturday or a Friday for 1.5 hours, and there's a particular framework we've given for that. And teachers are becoming, not just they're knowing each other much better now, and they're supporting each other a lot more. There's true sharing, and they also plan what they'll do next week, reading those prompts at the bottom. So they're much better planned, and even the materials they might bring, have children bring, or they themselves bring, they make a note of it in what we call the reflection registers, which they then, the present mind then kicks them into that higher order learning with the children and the demonstrations they need to do. So parent engagement is also higher because of those prompts in the book, because earlier we would have the parents say, what does my child do at school? They don't know. Or if they know through the diary, it's a very small bite-sized entry. They did pages so and so, they need to do pages such and such at home. For a teacher for little children, they have to write 40 times what the children did in class and what they did at home. That's a lot of work for the teacher. Why not just have it in the book itself? So that's what we are giving as a big support to the parent as well, because parent can see what happened in class, and they can also see what the child has to do at home, which is invariably a stretch of school activity, doesn't require tutor, does not require parents to become teachers. Instead, it's a different process. You'll see that in a bit. We'll unpack it little in more detail as we go along. We also have assessments and reports besides the books. They support the books in learning, and they are similar in look and feel, so children are not being surprised, and little ones especially. There's a demonstration what to do, so visually they can see, okay, that's my task. You don't need to verbalize it. You don't need to interfere with the testing process, and children can do it on their own. And then, of course, there's the EdTech support, so all the ebooks, but a lot more resources are there, including an AI-assisted assessment itself that the teachers can create and use in different formats. So now you've seen how numeracy works, so mathematics works. Now we can talk about how literacy works. So here again you can see in a government school, they make these puppets, we call them Tina and Toto, and so we have ours. Okay, I'm Tina at this point,
And this is Totu.
it doesn't matter what gender you are. Okay, these are it's like being in a play. It doesn't matter what character you play. So Tina and Toto, and these kids make their own Tina and Totos, and beautifully, like you can see, these are made by kids from different campuses, and those are by their children, as you saw in the school, in government school. So the way they learn, again, what we do in training becomes the way they learn in classroom, or teach for the children to learn in classroom. Demonstrate is a better word than teach. So the way learning scaffolds, as in like where you begin the story and how you unfold it, changes in alpha. So normally in language we teach pictures, we teach letter sounds, and letters are unknown to the children, and letter sounds are also unknown, because till they know that B says B, B doesn't say B to them. B says only
B.
It doesn't say B. C says
C.
C says C, right? It doesn't say K, right? Okay, so we have to rote teach them all these definitions of letter sounds. Both are known. Letters are known, letter sounds are known. It takes a long time for the children to come to the point where they can start rolling with the phonics program. So unknown to unknown, and path is a different way forward in also language or different scaffolding. It goes from known to unknown. So we use pictures from the child environment, or those they can learn quickly, or if they don't have that language, from the family or wherever, like most of our children, what we do is a game with the pictures and picture sounds. So we do a memory game. We have these cards that children can turn upside down, pick two. If they match, they keep. If they don't match, they put back. Initially, I'll just pick up a picture card and say, what is this, Athira? And Athira will say, this is a car. Say, okay, great. So what is the first sound in car, Car. So we teach them, yes. So if we teach them then the picture sounds. And they can also match the sound cards and the picture cards. We call them sounds, not letters. And that way they are able to make words from the beginning. So let's look at the slide here, which is an activity we can do together with our children in any classroom. And please try it out in your classes. So I will ask my partner here in a teacher-child demo in the beginning. So I bring a child to the front, but I don't pick a child to bring to the front. I actually randomly select a child. And the way to do that is to have these ice cream sticks with roll numbers written on it in a jar, or even names written on it. You close your eyes, pick a roll number, and say, can that child please come to the front? You'll be my partner for the teacher-child demonstration. So I have picked Athira in that process. I have not picked as in like, okay, Athira, can you come? I picked her from a bunch of ice cream sticks in a jar. I pick up and it says Athira. So Athira comes up. Okay. Now she's my partner for this demonstration, in which I'm going to ask her some questions. She's going to answer. Then for the next word, not this word, because not repeat after me ever. For the next word, she's going to ask a question and a set of questions, and I will answer. So I'll decode and blend and make a first my words. So Athira, now you know all the pictures. We've done the picture sound games.
Yes.
So you know the pictures. What is the first picture that you see?
That's a car.
Jolly good. Now, what is the first sound in car?
It's car.
Very good. Well done. What is the next picture that you see?
Next one is an apple.
Very good. And what is the first sound of apple? Could it be as in umbrella, Could it be a as in another way of saying a? Or could it be a as in apple?
Yeah.
So what will it be? Perfect demonstration. Anak, you know how you wear anak. In Hindi we say anak for the, so anak, so it's apple, jolly good one, wonderful demo, lovely, I love it. Okay, so apple, and tub, what's the next? Teacher can go wrong. Okay, what's the next picture?
That's a tub, as you said.
Excellent. So what's the first sound that you hear in tub?
Th.
Very good. Excellent. Now, add the three sounds. What word do you get?
Cat.
Jolly good. Well done. Okay. So you see, even 3-year-olds are able to make, on the first day, they can make a word. And it's supported by pictures. These letters are not letters ABC. These are letter sounds. And they're not letter sounds also. They are picture sounds. So for them, they are sound symbols. We call them not letters, we call them sound symbols. So even if you didn't have them on the page, like if you don't have them here, we can do that process without them. Because we're just simply deriving sounds of the pictures, adding the sounds is an abstract adding. We can do that with the pictures there as concrete, yeah, in front of us as visuals. And then we support that understanding of the letter sounds, rather picture sounds, by having that picture there. And so they can see the symbols, and over time the symbols sit in the mind as those sounds. So let's go to the next page, and this time you'll be my teacher, I'll be the student.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So what is the first picture?
I think I see a bus.
Of course. And what is the first sound of that?
Ba.
Wow, well done.
Thank you, dear.
And what is the second picture?
Apple.
Of course. And what is its first sound?
Wonderful.
And what is the third picture?
I see a goat.
Yes. And what's its first sound?
Ga.
Yeah. And add the sounds and you get?
bag.
Exactly. Well done.
Thank you. Right, so that's how they make, and whether you say the, sounds with the at the end or not, it's sort of semantics. I have seen that children are learning whichever way, equally fast or very fast. It's because some people are very fussy about how you pronounce the okay, alrighty. So here we'll see an entire class of 4-year-olds doing this and decoding, and not just, now this is somewhere in the middle of the year, they are reading not just the decoding and blending sounds, they're actually reading sentences with the support of some sight words that we have taught them as well by this time. So please see how the class works after we've empowered them.
This is the fish. What is the first sound of it? First sound of the fish. What is this? This is the orange. What is the first sound of orange? First sound of orange. Oh. What is this on the X6? This is a whale. What's on the whale? What is this? This is an insect. What's on the insect? Eat. What is this? This is a goat. What's on the goat? Goat. What? Eat. Goat. This is bag. What's the voice on the bag? Book. What is this? This is the orange. What's the voice on orange? Oh. What is this? This is X-ray. The first one X-ray. What's the book? Box. This is a zebra.
Right, so now we're going to do another activity. So it's a progression. It goes from that very first lesson that we did together to children in grade 1 being able to make sentences of their own, even kindergarten. But we give them a particular module by which they can create more questions for each other and continue that learning for hours and hours, having started with a particular process. So we teach the process. That's why I say it's process-led transformation. And we don't teach the exact thing. We demonstrate that one thing, but that's not the only thing they do. We don't also put questions on the board or 5 words on the board saying everybody make 5 sentences out of it. It's done in a vastly different way, and you can see why we do it in that way, so that children are empowered, so that the learning becomes bigger than before. Okay, so Athira, here as you can see, we have nouns, verbs and nouns, 3 columns. Column A has nouns, column B has verbs, and column C has nouns again. And can you read the prompts, what this particular module is asking the teachers to enable in the class, because prompts help the teacher to enable that change. Please.
Sure. So the first one is pair up. Take turns to make sentences using one word from each of the columns A, B and C. You can use any words from each of the columns. Example, my dad makes dinner. And?
My mom drives the car.
Yes.
Okay, that's prompt number 1. So you can see that using that word list, they can make loads and loads of different types of sentences, and we don't stop there, right? So this is joyful because it's not like, okay, take 5 words, make 5 sentences, none of that, but also it is not giving them a particular way to do it. We're saying just make sentences, and two examples are given, not a lot. It's not a worksheet, it's a process for enabling children to make their own worksheets. And we'll see how that happens in a minute.
So the second prompt is, make up your own list of nouns and verbs in 3 columns as above and make new sentences of your own.
Right, so this is an important prompt, because what it's saying is, look, okay, can you add more nouns or make your own noun, verb, noun list in your notebook, and then make loads of sentences with each other and in your notebook at home as part of home stretch. And then there is more that we can do with the word list. Now it's their own word list, so they're very excited to make sentences, to write, and you can see how writing work multiplies, because in the past we would have very little writing work, and it's a big problem because a lot of kids don't like to write. Here, because it's their own list, they tend to do 10 times writing, 5 times the writing. On average, we've seen classes do about 3 to 5 times the writing.
And the third prompt is, make up a prose like, I live with my mother, father, sister and Tommy, our pet dog. We like to ride in a car. When we go to the beach, Tommy likes to run after the ball. I think I saw a UFO once in my dream. There were many aliens. I also saw a monster once, but I was not scared. I like to play.
Dash.
Yeah, I like to play cricket.
Okay.
And I like to do dancing.
Oh, good. Excellent. Right.
My favorite subject is mathematics.
Okay.
And my best friend is Dr. Sunita Gandhi.
Today, that's correct. Now we're good friends. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say that the last part is really exciting also, because here she's answering the questions, but she'll be making a whole bunch of questions with fill in the blanks for her friend to fill the next day. So it's not making worksheets for the sake of making worksheets. There's a purpose. You are developing critical thinking skills by making fill in the blank questions for your pair, and the next day the pair is going to answer those. So a lot of engagement at home, which was always a problem, because many children don't like to do homework, and the parents are pushing them to do the homework. The teacher saying, you didn't bring your homework, and it's the same old scene. So we are seeing a lot of difference now. The kids are excited about their home stretch. We don't call it homework because it is stretching the learning that they already know and how to do it. So it's empowering, and they don't mind doing it. This is another activity, just as an example, where they can create and co-create learning for hours on end. And so here, for example, you can pick 3 vowels and 5 consonants, and the way they would do it is like on this page. So here, like Athira and I will write down 13 letters of the alphabet. Now we know alphabet. Later on we learn the alphabet as well. So we know the letters 13 and 13. We write it down, and all these chits that we make, we put them upside down. We make 2 piles. One pile is vowels and the other pile is consonants. They're upside down. Now, from one pile, Athira pulls out 3 vowels. From this pile, I pull out 5 consonants, and we turn them face up. And now we have 8 letters, as we saw earlier on the previous slide, and those 8 letters is what we make words with. So every time we dip into that pile or these piles, we can make a new set of letters, and therefore we can make a new set of words. And the prompts that are given in the book are as follows, which I'm requesting Athira to please read. In class, what the children will do in pairs.
Pile 1 vowel.
No, just what the prompts are, how they're written.
In class, children in pairs make 2 piles of chits, vowels and consonants. Child 1 picks 3 vowels, child 2 picks 5 consonants. Work together for 5 minutes to form as many words as possible. Share your words with other pairs in class.
So see, these prompts help a teacher understand what the task is. They help children, especially in grades 1 and 2, when they're all reading anyway, for them to on their own understand what their task is. And then it says home stretch. So what does it say for home stretch here?
Keep making words at home. Next day, share your new words with your partner.
Yeah, so that way we get the words going. Now, the next slide, we are going to look at which is better. Do we give this a question to you all who are watching, that is it better, make a mental note or even put in chat, do you think it's better to give 5 words or 10 words in dictation, or have children make 5 minutes of words on their own in an activity like this one, where it's endless and they can make loads and loads of words? They can consult a dictionary, they can consult the computer, whichever way they can make loads and loads of words. So these 8 letters in the front of you, 3 vowels and 5 consonants, can make how many words? 159 words. Can you believe it? 159 words, right? So that's pretty amazing. They can make 3 letter, 4 letter, 5 letter, 6 letter, and they can challenge themselves who's made the biggest You know, and they can go, like, if Athira and I have made a whole bunch of words, we want to see what the others have made. So it's not like taking to the teacher. We actually get up and go to the next table and see what the other pair has made. And then we go to the next table, we exchange what words we've made, and therefore we learn new words. And it's a very, very engaging activity. So we are unleashing a process even within the class where the dependence is not on the teacher, but the children going around the class. So it's like teachers sitting and watching. She may be tiptoeing around the class, seeing what's going on, may once in a while say, okay, everybody, you know, pay attention, and so forth. We'll do another demonstration because she notices that some kids have not understood the activity. That means we failed as teacher. So there's instant ongoing feedback for the teacher as well, because there's a lot more observation. There's a lot more of entry of that observation, what's called, we discussed earlier, the reflection register. So they write it down in their notes in a reflection register. Now, second question, in chat or otherwise make a mental note, indicate if you think such activities are, can you read the three options?
Can engage children for hours, require lots of teacher intervention, not exciting for anyone.
So if you think it's the first option, give a 1, otherwise 2 or a 3. Okay, and the next question is?
Do these activities move focus from
Teaching to learning.
Teaching to learning. Yes.
As per NEP 2020. Do they, yes or no? Right? Do they shift the focus? Do you think activities like this actually shift the focus from teaching to learning? And I think you'll probably agree, yes, of course. And if not, then let's have more discussions, because we have not been able to convince you in this very brief presentation. So I want to show you the next slide, because it shows all these children are writing, and every page, every creation is their own, and everything is new and different. And there's a lot more writing expression going on. For example, my favorite one is the poem, which is grade 1 poem, What If O Ran Away? So the whole poem goes into what words will not exist if O ran away. For example, mom and pop. There'll be no mom and dad, right? Mom and pop, rather. So all of that is happening because the children are reading that poem with the words very early on. They're learning all these 3-letter words, and then they are writing. Okay, so we've read that poem together. I read a line, you read a line. We enjoy reading it, and then we are going to discuss how do we make another poem in what if A ran away? What if E ran away?
What if B ran away?
Or B, no, well, anything ran away. For that matter, it doesn't have to be a middle word, a middle letter of a CVC word, it can be anything. So they have a lot of fun and they write creatively. They've got a model and they have lots of fun and they co-create. It's so much easier and better for two of us to work together than to me alone thinking, what should I do? It's not as interactive, it's not so present, and my mind works faster when I'm working with somebody, and we're on our toes a lot more. And so at home, how do we continue with that is through these puppets, Tina and Toro. So we have these, and it's sort of like friends now they've got. And if you talk about social emotional learning, this is another way social emotional learning is happening. One way is, of course, saying a high five. We're like enjoying so much that emotionally we are connecting at a nice level, and then these, and appreciating each other. That's also very much important. Okay, so let's look at how empowerment is happening. And this is a story from one of our English books for grade 3, in which the children are studying cause and effect. So the prompts at the bottom, as you can see of that page, where there's an image of an owl with cause and effect. One wing has cause, the other wing has effects. The children have to find and connect and color. So definitions are given on the left, bottom left, and then the in-class and home stretch activities are given as support to the teacher and the parent. So how does it work? Can you please read?
Of course. So in class, look at the colors on the owl's wings. Each color links a course to its effect. For each color, read the course statement on the left and match it to the correct effect on the right. Do not forget to color the owl's wing with the same color as the course.
Yep, so that's very clear. Yep. And what happens at home? What do the children do at home to stretch it?
Write a few courses in your notebook. The next day, your partner will read them and tell the effect for each one. Example, I forgot my umbrella. And effect B, I got wet in the rain.
Right. So you can see that children can come with lots of causes and effects. We can try, all of us, and we'll also try. So can you think of a cause?
I forgot my maths textbook.
Oh no, now you'll have to share mine. You won't be able to write things in your maths textbook. Okay, so they come up with their own loads and loads of causes. Next day, they ask their partner for effects. And it's parent empowerment, as you saw, but also parents now know what to do at home with their children. Earlier, they had very few questions. What did you do at school? Or how was your school today? And what homework did you get? It's bite-sized, very, very little. So what you're saying is, look, let's have parents be empowered like a teacher, of course, galvanizer. How a parent can become a galvanizer through those prompts, and they can do those activities at home. Some of it is like bari taking turns. They don't always know. The child says, no, you have to take turns. This is not how you do. So children have become trainers of their own parents, how to become galvanizers. And then we, of course, have parents in meetings and such things. Here you can see what's going on at home with Tina Toto puppets. Mother is acting as Toto in this case, and Toto is the parrot. So she's speaking on behalf of the parrot, and the little girl is asking questions, a grade 1 child, I believe. Could you please play this video? Just this one, and we'll move on to the next one. Not this one.
Hello, Toto.
Hi Tina,
How are you?
I am fine. What about you?
I'm also fine.
Tina, let's play one game. I will show you the number with ice cream stick and you have to guess the number. Are you ready, Tina?
Yes, Toto.
So let's start.
Okay.
What is the number, Tina?
So the number is 3,875.
Great, well done.
Okay, so you can see that children know what to do, then they continue with that at home. And in fact, they're engaged for hours, is what we're hearing. And some of the parents are saying that, they're reporting that children would come home and they'll ask for the mobile. Now they don't ask for the mobile, they ask for the newspaper. They ask to videograph you, and they are empowered. And so, like right now, this little girl has done her whole setting with the help of mother or herself, we don't know. But what is interesting is that she's explaining what she's doing, and this is a grade 1 child, making her own sums and solving them, and her mother or father, one of them is taking the video. And she has a Tina and Toto puppets to help her as a good friends. And this is really amazing SCL activity as well as communication activity. Play that, please.
By this, Ojal Singh. I studied class first F. Today we are going to learn two-digit subtraction with our maths toolkit. So let's get started with my friend Tina and Toto. First, we have to subtract 22 from 34. 1, 2, 3. Now we have to do 4 ones. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is the number 34. Now we have to subtract. Let's subtract 2 from 4. We got 2 ones. Now we have to subtract 2 from 3. We got 1/10. The answer
So you can see how much of hand-eye coordination is involved in doing such an activity. Also language, to be able to explain what you're doing, to be able to then connect everything up to actually solve a problem. I think it's just absolutely awesome, and it's not just one child, all the children are engaged in this way. Majority of the parents send videos. I asked a teacher, how do you feel about getting all so many videos? And she said, ma'am, we don't mind putting a heart there because we enjoy watching them, our children doing so well. And so it's a joyful kind of exchange, and kids do it because their teachers will see it. Teachers give a heart because they feel their children will be happy. I think we've never seen anything like this ever before. And parents are delighted because they're also getting a lot of feedback from the teacher. Children are excited. You look at this little girl on the left. I'm not going to play the video, but this little girl on the left is again a grade 1 child from another class, another campus, and she is done all the setting with her mother or whoever, and she's made that little board called Gubbare. It's a poem that she's been reading in her textbook, which we call the buddy books, as you know. And here she is reading with expression and with her Tina Toto puppets. So I think, I'm sure you're very curious to see how this one is done, but because of paucity of time, I'll want you to go to our website, gettylearn.org, that is GETI learn.org/path. So when you go to that website, on the path page, if you go scroll down a little bit further, you'll see videos and it'll say watch more videos. Click on that and you'll get to a folder with hundreds of videos. So, better than us talking about it, it's good to see what's going on, because most people will find it hard to believe that you can get something like this happening, as you see in these pictures here. So kids are interacting, they're learning, and they're learning far more than they ever did before. It's very, very creative work as well. Next, yeah. So here you can see grade 2 children making questions for each other and solving them together. So the question that they have made, which is not expected of grade 1 or grade 2, this is grade 2, the number is 1,385 multiplied by 3. So you can see the quantities kept there: spoons 1,000, 300s, the bundles, and then 8 tens, and then 5 ones. Put 3 times is that number multiplied by 3. And how they add the ones, and they add like we did, Athira and I, then they exchange for tens and so forth. You can see that this is very easy to expand on. So a book that stretches, right, is what this is, that allows you to stretch and also to go down. If a child needs more reinforcement, they can go down, they can also come up. So they can work with tens and ones when they're struggling a little more. Then when they gain confidence, they go to 100 tens and 1. So remedial classes are not needed because children support each other. And we don't need to label a child as weak or shy or special needs or hyperactive. And here's again another activity. It's a musical kind of activity, doing fractions with music and newspapers, and again you'll see it there, but teacher puts on the music, children bring newspapers from home, the 2 children will stand together on that newspaper. When the music stops, they fold the paper in half, and then they again stand on it, the music goes on, then the music stops, they fold it again and again and again and again, and then they color pieces of it to understand fractions. An activity again they can carry on at home, and the parents can know what it is because of the prompts. And so it's a holistic education. I think we can agree that education needs to be holistic, all of us, but normally we tend to say, okay, it's going to be a month for caring, like we have been doing that for years at City Montessori School. Month for respect, month for responsibility, and so on. But here they are learning those skills because they have to be courteous to each other, they have to use mannerisms. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling stupendous. Imagine the little children, 4-year-olds saying, I'm feeling stupendous, I'm feeling amazing, and so forth. So the courtesies, the manners, they are of course deliberately put in the lessons as well. But working together leads to a lot of benefits which we have never discovered before, because we have hardly dabbled with the idea of paired learning. Sometimes we do. A good creative teacher will do a lot of constructivism, and so hands-on learning, and also with pairs of children facing each other and doing what's called think, pair, share. It's happening, but it's still different to what we are talking about, which is basically teachers not leading, teachers empowering, and there's a difference. children are leading, yes, but based on what the teacher told them. Here it's, I think over time you will see that this is different. And the 8C skill should be a natural outcome of that process, because all day long children are sitting with each other, not just 10% of the time or 20% of the time when the teacher says everybody face each other. And the tasks are defined by the children, that's another difference. They're not necessarily given by the teacher always. The process is given, but the exact tasks are decided by the children. And the level is also decided by the children, which is a point that Athira made, that if the children are at different levels, then how do they learn? And so they learn because they are adjusting to each other's level, and that's being very creative. Is also kicking in their ability, like all children want to be teachers, right? So if I know something and you don't, I'm happy to teach you. And by doing so, I also strengthen my own learning, right? So then the question is, what happens to me? If I'm supposing topper in the class, am I going to suffer because I'm all the time teaching you? Or equivalence, because everybody's lower than me. So that question comes up all the time. So we're saying, no, it's not like that. All the children come up because we're not drawing a line. So for example, Smita, whose name I want to take because she's, one of the persons who contacted me, Smita Dikshit from one of the campuses, and she's a grade 2 maths teacher and coordinator for grade 2. So she said, ma'am, I'm amazed at the fact that I gave them an activity, I showed them how to know what's an even or an odd number. Now they're making even odd numbers for each other. They're coloring them blue for even and orange for odd. And these kids are making numbers in thousands, like 2020, 2014 or something like that. And she was sharing with me snapshots of the children's work, and it's truly amazing. So if the children are already doing work above grade level, then what's the difference between us? We're all growing with this system, and we see it in data. So we see it, for example, the children who were at the top, let's say 1/3 of them were at the top, right? By the time we do the next test, it goes to a much bigger chunk, like 80% of the children are now at the top, like they're doing everything that they were expected to do earlier, but only 1/3 managed to do so well. So all the top children are more children are becoming at the top, and top children are going higher. And climate consciousness we build consciously in the 8C skills. So 4C the government has put in the NEP, which we know collaboration, it happens better when we are working with each other. Communication happens better when we are working with each other. Critical thinking happens better because we are making questions for each other, and with Tina Toto at home. And then creativity happens more in this system, a lot more. I have to be creatively engaging with my partner. I make creatives all the time. And so there's this team connection where art is integrated as well. And then this is a story going back a bit, a story of a blue whale, and children are doing this, they're reading the story, at the end of which the prompts are saying that the children have to, one of them has to act as a researcher, the other as a blue whale. So the blue whale tells its own story to the researcher asks questions. So they ask lots of different types of questions, and the one representing the whale comes up with a lot of different kinds of answers based on the story. And beyond that, they get very curious, they go on the net, they look it up, and then they write their role plays and their stories, and they color them so beautifully, as you saw in that picture. And also there's a lot of nature integration. To the extent we can, we really try that children bring leaves and petals and all that to their mathematics. Why only just sticks and ice cream sticks that we give them? Assessments, they are also very different. First level of assessment is a feedback given by one child to the other. And so every work we do, we have the children not peer check, but it is not checking so much as it is feedback. So we look at the word feedback more seriously, and they provide feedback, it's more positive, and then they are improving each other's work or their own work after that. So here's another form of feedback, doesn't have to be written. So one makes, the other checks in whichever activity they do. And it's the control of error that Dr. Maria Montessori has incorporated in her system, which is a very amazing idea, and we have incorporated that at every level in this process. Assessment also happens periodically, like this assessment you're seeing is a phase end assessment at the end of a book, and it's also done very joyfully. It's colorful, it's beautiful, and the kids, we have them do energizers, then they sit down, and then they do their assessments, so it's more joyfully done, and there's no stress. because they know their stuff. And the assessments are designed not to be easy so all children do well, because all children do well, but designed to be most difficult, and we want to make sure that all children are doing well at the difficult level. And because they're ahead in the class context, like grade 1 children are at grade 2 level in many concepts, that this becomes very easy for most of them to answer. The few that struggle, they are helped by each other later on. We don't stop here. So this worksheet goes back to the children, and that they help each other to overcome any kind of errors that they had made. So it's 100% perfection that they do, and even the difficult concepts therefore become a lot easier, and teacher can diagnose where I need to go and help these kids. And they don't help, they get other children to say, okay, who's going to be with Athira today or with Sunita today? So, who would like to partner and so forth. Or in fact, even better, what we say to the teachers is, because children already know what they didn't know, just use the process. That's even better. So, okay, go to anybody who can help you. So, Athira will run to, say, Sabha ma'am and say, Sabha ma'am, can you help me? Right, not ma'am, she's a student, by the way, at this point, not a teacher. She's a classmate. And Sabha can't do it. Let's say, so okay, let's run to Nishant, so she'll run over to Nishant. Now, what are we doing with that process? See, process is so important. What we are doing is, bejijak question puchna, not scared to ask a question. And mistakes are part of life. I made a mistake, big deal. Go and ask somebody who can help you. So here, Sabha ma'am can't help me, then I go to Nishant. Nishant can't help me, then I go to, say, Ahmad sir. So like that, the whole thing goes on. And you give them 10 minutes to sort it all out. All the questions I couldn't do, now I can do. See, peer-led learning is faster and better, and the process is so empowering, and it's preparation for life. We're not talking about preparation for today, because in a job place, nobody cares which class you were in or are in or what age you are, and you don't run every time to your boss to ask for everything. You try to solve it on your own and with each other. So basically, I would like to now go to the last set of slides. We are talking about smart tools, and they are also provided. They are big support to the family and to the children, and also, as I mentioned earlier, that you can get to make assessments, and the app also stores the reports, so they are ready reference any time of the day for the child, the parent, the teacher, the principal, and beyond. So in government, we also give to the government sector. So what PATH strives to achieve is
accelerated and deeper learning outcomes, then highly engaged students and vibrant classroom environments. Then learners who are confident, curious and eager to explore, development of strong social emotional skills alongside academic growth.
Okay, I think we can agree to that. And then next, okay, so basically we feel that if you are considering PATH and Alpha, we call it high path program. If you're considering it, it's better to do it sooner than later, because then you can have it in your collateral, your promotions, you can have your teachers trained in advance. You can also do what would be really delightful, as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, a baseline. So just test your children so you know where they belong at the moment on a particular, let's say, a test that we will give. Third-party test, you can think of it based on certain competencies. By the end of the year, they should know perhaps for that grade level. We'll set it aside, and then a year later, at this exact time, we'll test the children again. These will be, of course, new set of children in that class, and we'll see this year's class is doing better than last year's or not. And I think it'll be very good research. So I'm looking forward to people joining me in that research and continuing that process of learning together. And for you to join the PATH movement for transforming education. Our solutions we are offering to the country as a whole, and it's also going in other countries. We have schools in Peru, Ghana, Philippines, Maldives, Malaysia, and the United States of America that are now using the program called Alpha, and we have data from them as well. We have come on our website, on our YouTube channel. You can see a lot of evidence from some of these countries. And please go back a bit. So we're offering it for foundational level, that is pre-primary to grade 2. We're offering it for elementary grades 3 to 5, for upper primary grades 6 to 8. We have all of the material available in an app, which make a note of it, hub.highpath.app. So hub.highpath, highpath.app. And so if you go in there, you can sign up, and you can see all our books, our assessments, our videos, and so many more things you can see over there. Then, of course, if you're still interested in physical books, we hope that you're not necessarily going to want to see those books, because it means a lot of paper. And if you do, then we'll invite you to Lucknow, or we'll go and show it to you for sure. But if you decide not to take it, then we'll probably take the books away from you. So I hope that's fair, because we don't want to waste a lot of paper. We are standing up for environmental consciousness. And there's plenty of proof, a lot of evidence for this pedagogy working. So not just in our own context and in the context of the government schools, but by international bodies also. Like here on the left, you see a book which has been written by Professor Fernando Reimers and his team at Harvard Graduate School of Education. Page 177, there's a chapter 8, a 20-page report on our first implementation of Alpha in UP, and the results show the world's best FLN outcomes. And this is not a small achievement, because the implementation took place only for 40 days, and these children were reading, some of them were reading, or more of them were reading with fluency, and the results were the highest effect sizes we have seen in the world. And coming from Harvard means it has a stamp of approval. The second book is my work in literacy, so that's about adult literacy. Third book is very relevant to you all, and it is available on Amazon. All the 3 books are available on Amazon. This one was published by Bloomsbury last year in 2024, and it talks a lot more about the pedagogy that we are dealing with. So you're welcome to that. You're also invited, by the way, to the Ed Leadership International Roundtable, which is coming up in November, 27th, 28th, and 29th of November. Very, very important that you come, because you can see how it's working in the classrooms. You can talk to the teachers, talk to the principals, and see how they're handling it and how it's going. You can talk to parents, in fact, as well. So, and you can get a certificate for being, initiated in this, and you can go back empowered, in particular, to go and take this mission as a leader in your own community. So those are the beautiful possibilities. Yes, do go into highpath.app, that is hub.highpath.app, and have a browse. Thank you so much indeed for being here. Thank you for being patient listeners. We have not interacted too much here, but it is only a 1-hour session, and we hope you'll request if you want a more interactive session with your teachers, with your parents or anybody, and we will be happy to do that. And I want to thank also Athira for being such a good sounding board, and for being such a good partner in presenting this town hall to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, thanks very much. See you again very, very soon, I hope, and we'll be tangoing together. Thank you.
The Path Movement for Transforming Education is being launched at this roundtable. As its name suggests, education must be purposeful, active, transformative, and holistic. Transformation in education is not merely desirable, it is an imperative. We need a system that goes beyond incremental reform to a genuine paradigm shift. Our education system needs to keep evolving itself. What children need today are meaningful opportunities to succeed and to learn with joy. Achieving this requires the courage to move away from outdated practices and embrace innovation. It is commendable that the City Montessori School has adopted the Accelerating Learning for All, Alpha program for its 21,000 students. This approach helps every child learn better, faster, and with greater joy. As Getty launches the Path movement, let it serve as a call to action for leaders, educators, parents, and communities to come together for this transformative journey. Let us place children at the center of our efforts and give them the future they deserve.